Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. First and foremost, my sincerest apologies that I've been lagging on posting a video. I know I said sometime last week that I was going to post a night ride. Unfortunately, that wasn't able to go through. I've just been in the process of moving. I picked up a couple extra hours at work, which is nothing to complain about. But unfortunately, that's been giving me a lot less time here at home to be able to record and upload anything for you guys. Today though, I dedicated some time to go ahead and walk you guys through the bike, show you guys a couple changes that I made, a couple add-ons that I've added to the bike, kind of just walk you through anything that I've done to it. I made a couple tweaks to the cockpit. I want to show you guys how I went about that. And yeah, just kind of give you guys an all-around walkthrough. The bike is going on about 450 to 500 miles, which is amazing. I'm kind of just crunching this thing out. Anytime that I get a couple extra hours after work, just enough daylight, I'm kicking this out. I'm usually riding with my bike lights anyway, so if it does end up getting dark, it's no problem. I am out in the trails, I'm out in the roads, I'm out with this bike. It's great, it's amazing. I've made some updates on the bike. I've changed a couple things that I want to go ahead and show you guys. I want to talk to you guys about the seat post. That's the biggest upgrade that I've done on the bike so far. Pedals are flat pedals still. I think I showed you guys in the last video that I switched back to flats. Brought the levers a little bit closer. I want to show you guys a little trick that I do whenever I'm working in it, just so you guys can kind of see. I don't know, maybe it'll help, maybe it won't, but running amazingly well. Still everything stock except for the things I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys. Everything else has kind of just been an add-on to the bike, but amazing add-ons, great. It's making the bike feel very lively, very amazing. I really can't rave about this bike just enough. Let me go ahead and flip the camera and go ahead and show you guys. As you can see, I made a couple little changes and some add-ons onto the bike. I went ahead and I spray painted the spacers here and the top cap. I don't want to change them out because they're the right height. I'm not pressed about it or anything like that. If they're the right height, there's no need to change them as of yet. I want to keep this a budget bike. I don't really want to change too much. What I have changed though is the seat post clamp and the seat post itself. Those two are ridiculously heavy. I hate the seat post clamps that have the levers on them. This one is just a little bolt. Let me go ahead and move forward. This I had ordered on Amazon. This seat post, this bottle cage, this bottle, which is dirty. I need to wash it from the last ride. Ugh, that just looks so nasty, golly. I ordered those from Performance Bicycles, and I also went ahead and I ordered this here as well, which is a 27.2 millimeter 275 gram seat post. This one is a little bit heavier. I believe it's like 360, almost 400. But it's still way lighter than what the stock seat post is. This one has a little bit of suspension, which it being lighter than the stock and having some sort of suspension, that's a big plus. This has eaten up a little bit in the dirt. It just provides a little bit of comfort for my tank just as I'm going through the rides. Sometimes the routes come very unexpectedly. Since there's no suspension in the front, no suspension in the back, it'll just kind of shoot the bike up into you. And I know you're supposed to be in a floaty state and things like that, but sometimes you're kind of just resting in the saddle, like you're just casually riding, you know what I mean? And it could be a bump in the sidewalk, it could be just something that you happen to run over, it could be the actual trail itself. It's just kind of uncomfortable. It just provides a little bit of a warning as you're on the trail that there might be chunk ahead. As it goes down, it gives me a little extra second to go ahead and kind of pick myself up and let myself float a little bit if I wasn't already. So it's a big plus. It being lighter than the stock and adding a little bit of suspension, it is amazing. And for the price that this was as well, for the price that everything was in total from Performance Bicycles, it is amazing. Not sponsored or anything. Go ahead and sponsor me if you want though. Hey, listen, what's good? The one thing that I do want to mention, and this is an honest review, is that the bottle cages are a little bit, like, I don't know how to describe it, a little bit crusty, I should say. Not like my water bottle, but let me show you. So as you can see, I don't know if this is necessarily carbon material or so, but there's like some sort of scuffing to it, and it's kind of hard to pick up on camera, but that's the actual material of the bottle cage itself. It's very inconvenient, it's very weird to look at up close. You kind of feel like you need to like scrub it off. Like if you've ever looked at a dirty stove or something like that, like an oily stove, like before you clean it, that's what it looks like. But this just doesn't come off. So aside from that just being super scuffed, the derailleur hanger. Now, Jesus, if I did not have this derailleur hanger adjustment tool, I'd be quite upset because, let me flip the camera back around. Now, that part is by far the cheapest part that I have found on the bike so far. You really cannot excuse it as anything else except for that part is just cheap. The material that it's made from just has to be the weakest material possible on earth. It must be aluminum foil or some shit, because that thing is not, it's not it, bro. Once it's folded out of place once, it's just going to continuously keep folding back into that same way. I keep folding it back and back and back and back. At this point, I know I should just order a new piece. I'm just a little lazy, bro. Just time has been going by too fast. By the time that I'm on the bike again, that's when I remember. I probably should order it after I record this video. This is going to be my little reminder. Here we go. So we'll see on the next video. Remind me if I end up changing it or not. We'll see. But overall, the bike is very good. I do want to go ahead and mention one thing about the cockpit. Well, a couple things about the cockpit. Like I said, I want to talk to you guys about that a little bit. Just a little bit of tweaking that I've done to it. Let me go ahead and show you the bike again. Alright guys, so this is my overview of the cockpit of the bike, as I like to call it, or just the handlebar setup. The first thing that I want to mention is I know that my hoods aren't level. Of course, I fractured my left arm, so I'm not able to extend it as far as my right arm. And I don't want to risk hyperextending it by just trying to be all aesthetic and everything like that, trying to be aero and everything. At least not right now. I don't want to risk being off the bike any further than I already was. Eventually, we are going to be aero. I know I said I wasn't going to worry about it before. I said I wasn't going to worry about being a weight weenie. But listen, if we're going to ride the bikes, we're going to ride the bikes. And we're going to ride all the bikes. So Tyler Pierce, we're coming for you. If you're not familiar with who he is, he's an amazing cyclist who makes amazing type of storytelling documentaries with Jeremiah Bishop. I started watching him in 2019, 2020 when I was vegan myself. But then I was kind of off YouTube for a while. I fell off of his channel, recently caught back on it. Now that I'm riding a gravel bike, road bike style again. And man, have I missed this man's storytelling. He is an amazing, amazing YouTuber. Definitely check him out. Enough of gassing him up though. Let me go back to telling you guys about my bike. I'll talk to you guys about the hoods again in a second. I'll have to go ahead and I'll pull these off. But aside from this, I went ahead and I tucked the handlebar angle a little bit further down. In sweeping this further down, I off-centered this little marking that's in here, but I don't mind it. The reason that I did that was because when I'm in here, when I'm in the bars, I don't want to feel like I'm sliding out of the bottom. I really want to be able to dig the front of the bike into the ground and be able to push myself forward, be able to pedal myself forward. Imagine when you see a dog running or a horse running, you see their front end going first and then their back end going after. It's like that. You kind of want to lunge yourself forward. I see it the same way as when you're riding your bike, when you're really digging, when you're really pushing in power, you want to dig the front end in and you want to push your back end forward, and you're really going to catch speed, you're going to catch a sway, you're going to be able to catch a flow and get the bike moving forward. Going back into the hoods now, what I want to talk about is two things. There's a little bolt in here, a little nut, that if you tighten it to the right, it pulls these levers a little bit further out from the top, but tucks the bottom of the lever inwards, so it shortens your reach. This big bolt right here is what allows you to actually loosen the whole hood itself and be able to move the whole lever around and be able to place it on the handlebar itself. The way that I find it easiest to get to both of these is by unhooking the little tabs down at the bottom and back and top and back, and then just spinning this just all the way around. Let's see if I can do it with one hand. Spinning it all the way around. That way it gives me access to both of these bolts so that I can go ahead and freely move it around. When I have the handlebar tape off and everything, I can actually move it however I need to, adjust whatever I need to 100% freely, without having to cut these off, without having to remove them, without having to get frustrated with them. They're out the way, they're tucked to the side. I simply find it a breeze like that, but I guess to each their own. This is just the simplest way that I found to do this here. Of course, you can go ahead and then clip them back, fold this back down. Let's see if I can do it with one hand. I guess I can't. There we go. And then you got to make sure that the back is tucked in right there. So this is the little area that twisting that nut brings this lever out. And like I said, it adjusts the reach. Since I dipped the handlebars a little bit further down, I switched this a little bit further up and angled it back this way, just so that when I'm riding downhill, I can really hook into the hoods without feeling like I'm gonna slip out of here either. I have a very, very good grip, regardless of if I'm supporting myself for better recovery, better breath, if I'm going a little bit downhill but don't wanna be, in the hoods, it's not too chunky, I don't feel like I'm gonna slip out. Even so, I have a good grip with my thumb. And then full hood access, comfortable on the bike. The entire cockpit is set up for me, for my riding style. Doesn't have to be perfect for anybody else. Doesn't have to be level. Doesn't have to be aesthetically pleasing. Aside from the cables, you always got to tie your cables. Listen, it doesn't matter. Always got to tie your cables. But yeah, listen, you just got to do what works for you. I got my beautiful cat behind me. Alright, so that's just what I wanted to talk to you guys about the bike. It's just the seat post that I switched. Oh, y'all heard her yawn. She's so cute. So that's just what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Was just a seat post that I switched up. The other one that I had ordered with it. The seat post clamp that I switched up. Spray painted the stem caps. And I spray painted the spacers on the stem as well. Adjusted the levers, the hoods. And that's about it. So far, that's about the only changes that I've done on the bike. Still holding amazingly. The derailleur hanger, that's the one thing that's that thing is wonky, it's janky, it's not good. Basura, no bueno. Nah, we don't like it. But it's all good. I'll order that piece like I said. Let me go ahead and finish this video and go ahead and order that. Check me next time. Let's see if I actually ordered it or not. I'll see you guys out. Take care.